Welcome back to yet another episode of the Early Apex. And Rob, today we are going to be talking about a number of different things, but starting off, you and I, we don't know what cars we've chosen, but we have chosen the ugliest cars over the past 10 years.
The ugly ducklings, the unwanted, things that shouldn't have been made.
Absolutely. This comes up because, I think this is a topic of discussion. They don't make cars like they used to in terms of looks. They're just, every new car is ugly. So we're just trying to get the cream of the crop and maybe talk a little bit about why they are the way they are.
I wouldn't say every new car is ugly.
No, that's
there's a lot of them. There's a lot of offenders out there. You know what, though? Sure. It's better than the 2000s. I'll tell you that.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We're better off than the 2000s and the 90s. Yeah. I don't know. There are some worse eras.
The highlights of those eras.
The Ford Taurus, the 02 Ford Taurus is never going to make a comeback.
That design language of just not a sharp
of just
edge
bubbles
on any,
and blah. Yeah, no, it's not. That's never going to come back.
So let's jump into it. Why don't you go first? We both chose 3 cars that topped our charts as the standout ugliest cars over the past 10 years.
Yes. Okay, who's going first? I'm going first here?
Yeah, I'll let you go. We'll go back and forth. You give me one of yours and I'll give you another one. We'll go back and forth here.
I'm gonna start with one. I think there's some well-known ones. I'm gonna start with one that's a little bit more, avant-garde. You haven't heard of this band, but that would be Infinity's version of the Nissan SUV, big 3-row SUV, the Infiniti QX80, circa 2014
Okay, I'm gonna look this up. And we'll put up a photo here.
Yeah,
what year is it?
So 2014 QX80. Take a look at that bad boy. There's a number of things that offend me about this car. Firstly, they just took Nissan's version and then just softened everything, right? Because they're just rebadging the Nissan, and it looks like a whale. Like it looks like a beluga whale, I would say, is the most,
there is a little
closest
bulbous
cousin
whale-like front end here.
Yeah, everything's bulbous. Even the rear end, like they put like a little hunch on the rear end over the, the wells. And even that's like this weird bulbousy thing. And then the rear, it's nasty. And I think the funniest part here would be the little fender vents.
I was about to say, what is going on there?
It's like,
what are they trying to
do? They took inspiration from poorly modified, like 2008, I don't know, like Chrysler 300s or something. Like the people who put like the chrome trim around like every single like door frame, like as if a door frame should be like a body line. That's like, I feel the inspiration for these chrome trim little fender vents here.
I can't imagine the board meeting that they had discussing this fender vent trim piece and how everyone came to the consensus of, yes, we are going to add this because that costs money to have that.
It does. It costs more money. They spent more for that.
You're going backwards.
Yeah, they thought this is what's going to sell them. That's what we need.
Yeah.
And I mean, and all the chrome all around the thing is, man, even the interiors on these.
Are you sure
I've never been in one. Exactly. Like it looks like it's from the 90s. They just took that. They took that. I mean, the interiors too. The interiors are bad. Just also bulbous and round and must still have like a cassette player hidden in there somewhere. There's like a delete panel in the shape of a cassette player,
or like an 8-disc track. Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and all the lights on it are too low. Like the taillights and the headlights don't line up with like the top body line, that comes across from the hood down the windows.
The straight on,
they're just sunk down in a it's just weird.
It creates this very crazy tall forehead looking face.
Yes, yeah. Star Wars fans think Kai Mundai, you know.
Kai Mundai.
You know Kai Mundai?
What's this?
Kai
This has
Mundai
gotta
is the
be
guy
some
who's
meme.
got like, his head is huge.
Oh,
on the
I know what
Jedi
you're talking
Council.
about. And he's got the ponytail at the top.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
That's the vibes I'm getting. That's what I'm getting.
Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. All right.
I'm photoshopping his face. I'm photoshopping him onto one of these.
We'll do it. So this is your more avant-garde.
Yeah,
choice,
this
you're
is
saying?
my underground pick.
This is the band you don't know
this
about.
is the
yet.
ugly one you forgot about.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll jump in here with my version of the punk ska trio jazz fusion band that nobody knows about yet. No, the vehicle that I didn't know about until I started researching this. I was gonna do it as an honorable mention, but hey, you let off with an SUV, so I'm gonna do a van, and it is the Lexus. And I love these naming schemes because this means absolutely nothing to me. The Lexus, and I'm sure they had a board meeting about this, explaining exactly why this is titled this way. The Lexus LM300H. Look,
I love the LMs. Wow, what a heritage they have.
Oh yeah, I'm very familiar with the LM300 over the LM400. The other thing about this is these like naming schemes that Lexus does. I think Mercedes is something similar. They don't correspond to anything else. It doesn't go like the LM300, the LM400, they never keep them. It's just like a one-off. You might as well just name your car like...
They're picking random letters and numbers.
Yes, absolutely.
It's like a DMV assigned license plate here.
If they're not doing that, I don't understand what they're doing. If they're not just...
how did they find sense? You're concerned with the person who found sense in this.
Yeah.
I am looking at this right now.
Yep.
Wow. Now that you blew it out of the water with this one, because I don't think I've ever seen this before, and it's hideous. It's horrible.
I try to. My other picks are things that people will see on the road, especially in the U.S. States.
Oh, so is this like a Korea only car? Or
I've never seen one of these.
China
I don't know
only.
where it's located. It might not be sold stateside. But I gotta explain. For those of you that can't see this looks like a meme. The size of the grill looks like somebody's bad joke that they put online. Like it. I don't understand how long. I mean, that's got to be a 4.5 foot grill.
It's incredible.
It reaches, Rob. It reaches from the bottom lip to beyond where the trunk line should be.
It's so high up. It's like up into the hood. And
yeah.
It's from the same like brand of styling that brought you that GMC truck that has like a grill on top of a grill, basically, and there's all the memes of just like photoshopping many grills on top of each other.
Yep.
And it looks like, I mean, I think modern Lexuses look pretty good. I think it's good design. I think they've always had some pretty good design. And it looks like the modern, and again, I don't know what the heck it's called, but the modern Lexus sedan, and then they just doubled it. They just stretched it up.
Yeah, they literally just Control Plus. Many times, many times, and then centered it and said, "Send it. Let's go with it. This looks great."
Because everything's stretched too, even the little like side detail that are like little teeth or something. They've just been stretched up. Just rip them up.
It is actually very much like somebody had an image of a Lexus grill and then just stretched it in a way just to cover
this will
the
also be a
entire...
Photoshop. I'm going to take a car with the same grill, Lexus car, same grill, and I'm just going to stretch it and show you how similar that is.
Yeah. I think it's their sedan right now is called the ES with that same design language.
Yeah.
Just take that grill and superimpose it over. Yeah.
Take a look at the side of this thing. It's got a cool little chrome detail of this like back and forth zigzag.
Oh, look at that.
Right on the B pillar there.
Oh yeah, look at that. It's got like a...
They sacrificed some window space for that.
That's you know what? That's going to get him. Again, another board meeting. Listen, gentlemen,
man.
ladies and gentlemen, late people of the board meeting, I've got an idea. We need a zigzag impeding passenger view that's chromed out. That's what's going to be what's going to sell this car. It's going to distract them from the terrible copy and paste of our front grille, and that'll be what convinces them to purchase this van.
This is a wild vehicle. Thank you for showing me this. This is, oh my God. I love this. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I've got another here.
Okay.
And this is
what we got.
This is the ugly car. This is the poster child of all ugly vehicles, of all ugly modern design.
Here we go. We might have the same one.
I think we do. It's everything that shouldn't happen with a car in every respect. In every respect. And this would be the Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet.
Okay, I do not have that car, but let's talk about it.
Nissan Murano Cross Cabriolet. And so first let's take one of the ugliest modern SUVs. And then they think, well, what can we do with this? You know, how can we sell more of these things? Let's just chop the top off. We're going to make it a convertible, lose all functionality of having an SUV, you know, in terms of like cargo space or anything like that.
That trunk's gone.
You end up with the trunk smaller than most like mid-size sedans. You've got like a Chevy Sonic sedan size trunk now. But you have this bulbous SUV and you're sitting up way like so high up. It's amazing. It's amazing.
It looks like a bathtub.
It does, yes.
With the top down and seeing a person in it. You look like a child in a bathtub.
Yeah, and you've got like the the handicap bars on the side because it's a bathtub in like Sunrise, retirement home.
Yep. And it's a two-door coupe. This is so weird.
Yeah, you're right. It's a two-door.
How is this? How did this get out of the board meeting?
I think I forgot. I think I blocked that out, but it's a two-door.
It's a two-door.
A two-door SUV would actually be cool. A modern two-door SUV, like a Bronco, like that's cool. This is
okay. I'm seeing a sedan version 2, but there is a two-door version. And it's a majority of the photos that I'm seeing, even these for sale ads, they're all two-door.
I think that's only two-door from what I'm seeing. I'm not sure, to be honest with you, but it's terrible. And then look at it with the top up.
Oh my God.
It's so round and just the ugliest rear end you've ever seen. It's just
the bathtub continues around the back.
Man. There's too many things to make fun of. It's like too easy with this car.
See, I think this car is kind of a leftover. What year is this car?
2014.
2014.
They were making it in 2014. Let's see.
I feel like there's a lot of leftover from the thousands in this car, or even like the late 90s, with how there's not a sharp edge on it, except for maybe the taillights. This has got like a lot of Nissan Juke vibes. I mean, it makes sense. It's a Nissan, but it also has like that Pontiac Aztec, like strange proportions vibe.
Nissan loves their like weird design. I mean, yeah, like you're saying with the Juke, like they sold the Juke out. They still make some weird, funky looking things. Honestly, I mean, their current headlight design I think is pretty weird, where it like has two edges. They split it off in the two corners. I think that's kind of. I don't think it ever really works well.
Okay.
They made this from 2011 to 14.
Okay, that makes sense. But yeah, that is something else. Okay, I'm going to do this in descending order. I think the biggest one, both physically and how terrible it was the Lexus van. The second one is I want you to look up a 2022 Toyota Avalon.
The Avalon. My friend's parents had an Avalon growing up.
Now,
green with gold badging.
Nice. Now, I haven't seen one of these. That's hilarious. I haven't seen one of these on the road in a while. Like, I haven't seen a newer generation of these. But there are a couple different options, or maybe like two different options of a grill. And I'm really going to call out the specific grill that is parallel to the ground and it's chromed out. And again, I think I'm on a theme here. Just giant grills that are super unrealistic and don't even look like they're a real car. And this is definitely a trend.
And
of modern
grills are a
cars.
necessity of function, right? The only reason we have grills to begin with is we got to let air into the the cooling systems. And when you start departing from that so far, it just gets your brain. There's a cognitive disconnect.
Yeah, I just don't understand. I mean, it's becoming the grill's a bumper on this car, Rob. There is no.
There's no bumper. It's all grill.
It's all grill.
It's all grill.
So it's essentially now a bumper grill. it's because there's a crash structure in there.
Yeah.
And it's the grill. It's not a bumper used to be the crash structure.
What I'm finding even more interesting is that they have, just like Toyota has the TRD Camry, there seems to be a TRD version of this with black wheels and a big black grill, like no chrome. And it's just like, it's gaping. Like there's just nothing. Some of these photos it's just black. There's no detail up there.
There's nothing
there. There's just nothing. It's strange.
I don't understand why it's happening, but I think for me, when people come, when the conversation comes up about modern cars not looking good, I think a lot of it does have to do with the grille. Just getting oversized like this. Like the BMW, I don't know if that's going to be your third car. It's not for me, but the new, kidney.
Oh, I mean, people are so upset about that.
Yeah. Just being oversized and continue with that theme. Personally, I don't think they look as bad as everyone's making them out to be, especially if you were to just continue the bumper across the front of the bumper just have a giant grill there.
Yeah. No, I mean, then that fixes everything.
Yeah.
The body kits are out there already.
Yeah.
I don't think it's the ugliest car ever. I do think it is a big step in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
For just the BMW's design language in general.
Because the rest of the car, I think, looks pretty good shapes wise. This Avalon, part of the reason why I chose it, you can find a lot of cars with giant grills, is that the rest of the car does absolutely nothing for like
it doesn't follow that like language.
No, it looks like they just stuck it on. It looks like it's a Camry from 10 years ago that they just deleted the front bumper and put this random bumper on. Yeah, it doesn't match the rest of the car whatsoever.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Honestly, if you look at the profile of the car, that car could have been from a car that I was driving in high school, back from the early thousands. It says absolutely nothing. It looks like it's an old Altima.
It's very bland. It's very bland in design. Otherwise, I mean, there's some angles on the side of it, but. Yeah, would agree. And I think this is going to be the newest car. No, you've got all really new cars in your lineup, but I'm throwing back here.
I got newer cars.
Yeah, you got the new cars. I got the 10-year-old throwbacks. So from one sedan to another, right? We've got the new Avalon. I'm going to call out Porsche's first attempt at their sedan, the Panamera.
Okay.
And they continue that body style 09 to 16. So that's in our realm here. So looking at a base 2013 Panamera. It's an ugly car. It was exactly what we've been talking about this whole time. It was they took the 911 and then just stretched it out. And there will be another Photoshop, people. So go check out the YouTube. It's just a Panamera stretched out. Yeah.
I remember when this car came out, and I was watching reviews on it, and it made up for it in other areas about how comfortable it was and all that sort of stuff. But this is a bad Photoshop job for sure in terms of let's just take what works, what we know works, and just mess with the dimensions a little bit, fudge it a little bit. It'll be fine. What could go wrong? Well, the first gen Panamera is what can go wrong.
And it went wrong. It went wrong.
It went wrong. It just,
man, it took sort of like and everyone loves the 911, blah blah blah, but it took everything wrong with the 911 shape and accentuated them, like and brought them to the surface.
Yeah.
The butt that's just like really round and ill-defined became even more so, especially with like how quick the rear glass like sinks right into the bumper line.
It's a weird, just weird shapes back there.
Yeah, and the whole thing, just because of how round everything is just ill-defined. And I mean, a Tesla is also just, you look at the profile of a Tesla and it's like one curve throughout the entire car, which is, I mean, really it's aero-driven, but this is just, they ruined it. They ruined it. And now they fixed it. I mean, you look at the mod, the new Panameras, especially, I forget what they're calling it, but it's much more of like a hatchback or like a wagon now.
Yeah,
I think that's actually a pretty handsome car. I think they've
more
really
like a
improved
notchback,
it.
or at least not necessarily a notchback in the fact that it has a trunk, but it's more notched. It's not as sloping.
Let's see, what do they call that? The Sport Turismo or something like that.
Mm-hmm. It's got a little spoiler back there too. It honestly looks a little more Cayman on the front end now than 911.
And it's definitely the 911. I mean, the taillights, heck, are practically the same part number, but somehow that new taillight design for the 911 like fits this shape much, much better. Yeah, it looks almost VW Beetle from the back a little bit with the proportions of that rear hatch on the first generation. It's just odd. Yeah.
I'm sure it's a great car to drive though.
Yeah.
Once you're in it, once you're in it,
it's has a great personality,
great. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
All right, Dylan, what do we got for our last pick of the day here?
I'm gonna go with another brand new car. I had originally, like I said, I was gonna use the Lexus, the van, as like an honorable mention because I just picked cars, but it's the most dishonorable mention, so I just had to lead with it. You did an SUV, I'm going to do a van. So I'm bumping the Prius out, but the 16 to 22, it's an obvious answer, but I had to actually drive that car for a trip back from Washington, D.C. And honestly, it did not win me over in looks. I was embarrassed walking up to that vehicle. But driving it, I'm like, man, I wish this thing just looked like a normal car because I get it.
Are we talking? We're not talking about the 2023 Prius redesign, are we?
No. I think it's a great looking car because that's where I'm going to go with this.
Okay.
It's 20. I blew it. I blew the journey. I would love to drive that car on a road trip. I'm very curious about that car.
Okay. So
I've seen one in person already.
You have?
I have. It's really cool looking. It's very thin. Like if you were to look at it head on, it's not very wide. It's very thin.
That small frontal area.
You got it. Exactly. Low drag.
Aero.
But yeah, this is a 2016. So this is what it's replacing. Weird shape. Just strange. Non-coherent in terms of design language, in my opinion.
I don't know if I ever hated these. I mean, like, I guess you never expect a hybrid to look good. Like the whole time there's been electric cars and hybrids have always been ugly. And this is from, like a Nissan Leaf type deal or whatever. And this is from that school. I would agree. I've always been frustrated by how the hood line comes up and then the window line, that body line just starts out of nowhere from a totally different place on a different angle, on a different height. That's always weirded me out. And then that little kink or cutout sort of where the rear handle is that comes back. Yeah, and it
follows all the way to the taillights.
Right, and it makes it's weird. It just makes it look like they just shut, like pulled it up or something. I don't know. It's
And then you have like I don't even call it a spoiler, but you have the top line of the hatch goes around, but then there's more glass below that, and then you have these tiny little wheels on it. It just
the wheels, especially I think that body line back there, just the whole lines of the car makes the rear wheels look way too small, like minivan back there.
It's just strange. But where I was going with this was The generations before this, I never felt like the Prius was a terrible looking car. But this, to me, this is just offensive. Like, I'm not going to buy this car because of this. However, I did drive it, like I was saying, and I really enjoyed traveling in it. I got it. Like when I started in the city, it was on, you could set it on electric only, and I messed around with that a little bit, and then got on the highway. I did like over 50 miles to the gallon. I'm like, I'm down for this. So drivetrain wise, but I could never do it. And I was always, hey, what if they ever made a good looking car around this drivetrain? And now it's 2023, and look what happened.
Sounds like you need a CRZ.
CRZ, oh my gosh.
A little CRZ action.
CRZ.
Only manual hybrid.
That's too funny. Yeah, the CRZ. Interesting car. I didn't think of this car for doing this list. I don't know if I would put it on.
Oh, I don't think it belongs there. I think it's a cool looking little car. I don't think it's
a cool looking
great.
car.
I don't think
weird.
It's CRX good.
It's also too old for our list, I think.
Yeah.
But I wish they brought the CRX back. I know they did that with the CRZ, or they were trying to do it with the CRZ. It just didn't do it for me. So, not that. I'm going to go with a different brand new car. It's the new Hyundai Elantra. I don't like the look of that car at all. I think the N redeems itself slightly. I still think it's pretty ugly looking.
Yeah.
But again, it's that front bumper grille.
It's huge.
It might be
especially on the Elantra N. It gets even bigger.
Yeah. I think I'm just going to go with the Elantra of like this current year, or like this current generation.
Well, they released the redesign.
They did, and it looks a lot better.
Yeah.
I will say that.
I think
that's 2023. So
is that 23 or 24? I think it's 24.
It might be 24. Yeah, that sounds right.
The facelift's coming, which I think is they're going to sell a lot more of them.
Yeah, because I think it looks a lot better.
Oh, it looks way did better.
Cool things with the end, like the seams on the side of the car are weird.
They're weird,
but it's
cool.
Yeah, exactly, and all that sort of thing. But I think overall, as like a base level car, let's just think about the Elantra as a base car. That's just ugly. You got like hubcaps on there. You got this massive grille. It's not doing anything. You got nothing cool like you do in the end. Zero redeeming features other than that line down the side. It's like, this is...
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I should have gone with the Prius. The trunk's kind of interesting. At least it's like a little more cohesive with the lines and stuff. But I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, guys. What are your favorite ugly cars of the last decade here?
Yeah, what would make your top 3 list? Let us know in the comments down below.
Oh yeah,
those dishonorable mentions.
So let's talk about some slightly prettier things here.
Ooh, okay.
Oh yeah. So I brought some really kind of exotic cars to the group here today.
Okay.
We're doing track specials on today's FMK.
Ooh, I like the segment already.
Yeah, track specials. I was at the track over the weekend at Pocono Raceway.
Okay.
At a track day that probably costs too much money for me, too rich for my blood, and there were a lot of track day specials there. A lot of people who spent a lot of money on a car they can only use on the track, illegal for street use.
Really? Okay.
Oh yeah. So I'm going to start us off with, I think, maybe the most well-known of the track day specials.
Okay.
And that is going to be the Ariel Atom. I've got for you a 2014 Ariel Atom 3. This is when Ariel for the Atom 3 switched over to the Honda K24.
Okay.
So it's rocking this one, a naturally aspirated K24 in there.
Got it.
Making I think about like 220 or something like that at the crank.
Okay.
And it's the classic Ariel Atom. You
Yeah.
get a windshield on this one. You get a windshield on this version. So and this one actually, I do believe, is street legal.
I was gonna ask that. So okay,
you get 2 seats. You can drive it on the road. Mm-hmm. And that's about
being
it.
the operative word there.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, should you dare?
That's up for debate.
Your occupants are going to be kind of dirty after a ride in this thing.
This is just a motorcycle, but with a seat and a wheel. Let's be real.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's trading the saddle for a seat, trading the handlebars for a wheel.
So next up, we've got something a bit more practical in some regard, but less than others. And this is a car I didn't realize existed until Saturday. The Lotus Elise Cup R.
Okay.
Now, so this is an Elise, and for some reason not an Exige. I'm curious why they didn't model it off the Exige chassis. But so the Cup R is a track-only car. It's got no headlights.
I was about to ask.
Yeah, no headlights, just blanking plates there. And it is made specifically for the track, and so you can just do like unlimited, track lapping. So this is going to be Toyota's 1.8 liter with VVT and supercharged.
Okay. Interesting that they took already what I would consider to be one of the most stripped down cars you can get, and be like, you know what? I bet if we just remove a couple more things, we'll just not be able to drive this on the road. No problem. I'm sure we'll sell it.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Okay. Hit
so,
me with the third.
Yeah. We've got that little guy. And then finally, we have what I think is the most extreme in the group here, the Radical. A 2020 Radical SR3 XX 1500. Rockin'. So this is...
Wow.
This is a race car. No one looks at this and mistakes it for anything else than a race car. Looks like a little LMP car or something. Mm-hmm. It is. It's got a Hayabusa 1.5 liter in it, 6-speed sequential transaxle. This one actually. All right, I was gonna say you can't have a passenger. You can have a passenger. Their head will block the intake. But you can have a passenger.
You will be down on power, but whatever, it's all good.
Yeah. So this is nothing short of a race car. When I saw the one at the track, they had tire warmers on it. They spent about 15 minutes trying to start the thing up. And it was all that drama of starting a race car up in the paddock.
Yeah.
It's an extreme. It's an extreme machine.
Okay. Oh man. You know what? I wasn't getting excited until this last option. I'm not gonna lie. Oh yeah, Ariel
heard of it. Boring.
Oh, a Lotus that you can actually drive on the street. That's silly. But this Radical, that is actually radical. This is sick.
Yeah. Yes. This is it's a very extreme car for sure.
That's great. I mean, it's not an open wheel car, but this is that level of experience when you're driving, it's that kind of an experience.
The way you're sat in it is
look at the wheel. The wheel's crazy.
A race car. It is what you see them racing on TV more than almost anything else you could get your hands on. Really, more than anything else you can get your hands on for under $100,000. So I mean,
now is the Hayabusa engine, is that turbocharged too or no?
I don't believe so. No, they're not. I don't think so
either. Okay. The way the exhaust is running from both sides of the engine, definitely not. Okay.
Yeah. So that's I believe 232 horsepower is what they're claiming out of the XXR here.
Okay. So now I have to decide.
So they're Hayabusa derived engines, but they're hand built by RP Racing.
Okay.
Yeah. So they actually all pretty similar power here too. They're all about 220 horsepower at the crank.
Yeah. And funny enough, I'm not even looking at the specs. Funny enough, the Lotus is the chubby one, I'm sure.
Yes.
I'm sure of these three.
Yes,
I mean, they're all looking sickly. Let's be real. on the scale. They're all a little underweight. But of all of them,
their doctors are concerned about them. They they did not make weight.
Yeah, of all of them, the Lotus is the least concerning of the three. I'm gonna get right into it. I don't often start this way, but I'm marrying that Radical, yo.
Okay,
I'm
you want to
doing
take the
it.
Radical to the track
I'm
like every
doing
weekend.
it, and here's why. This is unusual for me because this is the most extreme car. Usually, I don't pick the most extreme car, but I want to do this for a couple different reasons. One is these three. Essentially, with this segment, you're going to be towing the car to the track.
Have to.
Right?
Have to.
I think by looks alone, I think this looks like it might be like the smallest of the three. But regardless,
You
it's
mean
a small
dimensionally?
car. Dimensionally.
Dimensionally.
Yes.
I think dimensionally the Atom is going to have everyone
It's
be
still a little
and I'm
smaller?
not
Okay.
sure if the Radical is smaller than the Elise because the Elise is small too. But okay.
This is
You're
still
you're thinking, can I fit this on my trailer?
Yeah. Regardless, this whole segment again, they're underweight, they're anemic. I have my concerns. Doctors doing some research here. No, it's going to be easy to tow. I don't need to get some like full size pickup to move this car around. I also don't need a huge space to store this car. It's a small car. So if I'm going to have a fun only track day only vehicle, I wanted to check those boxes. Like I'm sure I can't tow this with my Focus, but I'd look into it. I'm sure they would do it over in Europe. They do some crazy stuff over there with those caravans.
Absolutely.
And yeah, dude, I want that experience. Look at that wheel. I want that Hayabusa just like screaming to like 10,000 RPM. I'm not going to get sick of the tire of that car. And Rob, I wouldn't retire it entirely, but now I don't have to take the Miata to the track anymore. It can just,
That's true.
chill out,
That's true.
relax
Just be a little
bit.
cream puff, a little garage queen.
Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
In fact, I might even, there'd be an argument to get a different car than the Miata to do that. But anyway, that's a whole nother discussion. So yeah, I'm definitely, dude, Radical, bro. Radical. It's going to be a wild, crazy marriage between the two of us. But you know what? Those highs, they're going to be fucking
They're
high,
going to
dude.
be up there.
They're going to be really high.
You're going to be feeling great.
Oh, yeah.
And then when you tell people, my race car in the garage, it's a race car.
You don't need it, Rob, you don't need to call it a race car. They're going to know.
No,
just
they'll
by
know.
looking at it.
They'll know. Yeah, they'll
Whereas like, oh yeah, this is my Miata race car here.
know. They're like, okay, he
that's
gutted
a
the
cute-
interior, and now it just rattles more.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh, now it's less livable than it was. Okay. So you're calling it a race car? I get it. So yeah, so it's going to be a crazy marriage.
I should probably tell you that the older Radicals, the SR2s from like 2005, you can pick one up for like 25 grand.
I can't justify that much money on just a car you just drive at the track. I just can't. And here's why I'm going to crush the next car, because I would just get the road-going version of the Elise.
Oh.
Dude, I'm smashing that car. I'm crushing it. I'm not even hesitating. Because, what? Are you saving like 12 kilos by not having a couple things in there? Just so it
you save like 100 pounds, maybe.
Like,
I don't know.
come
I think
on.
it's mostly just has like a more cooling or something. So it just,
there is only negatives I see to owning an Elise that you can only drive on the track. Because it just, you can do so many cool things. I think of an Elise, when you drive an Elise around, I think of all the things that I can do in a Miata, just slightly more uncomfortable in the seating position and a hell of a lot lower and a hell of a lot smaller. But like all the things that I do in my Miata today, I can do in an Elise. Just you're in like a lounge chair, like you are. I don't know if you haven't. For those of you who have never sat in one,
I freaking love it.
Nuts!
I
it's
love
nuts.
it. The pedals are like above
on the
you.
ground.
I love it. I love it.
to say that you're in a recliner is an understatement. Yeah, it almost feels like the pedals are above you. Like you're having to you're not having to pick your feet up and like hover them, but your feet feel like higher than like. Yeah, where your butt's sitting. It's crazy. And I want to experience that on the road. I want to be able to drive the Cars and Coffee on occasion. I want to be able to like take that around and stuff. If I can't do that, dude,
what's the point?
What's the point?
Okay.
I'll just trade it in for one that I can do that with. Which brings me to the Atom. Everybody knows the Atom. I want to know what it's like. Let's get a couple chipped teeth, Rob. Let's go out. Let's have a wild time in that thing. Let's
get covered in rocks.
Put that K power to the test. Is it truly that
it's a good engine.
Reliable? Let's find it. Let's bounce off the rev limiter as much as we can. Take it to the limit and then walk away. And you know what? I'm good. I got my Radical, dude. I never need to do that again. I'm good. I'm set. I married the right girl. I married the right car.
Oh man, you're just gonna have that fire suit ready every weekend.
Absolutely. Absolutely. That would be the breakdown though for me, for sure.
I respect your picks, Dylan. I respect your picks. I do.
What's your train of thought here?
I think the Radical only gets the one drive because I want to know what it's like. I want that experience. But I also...
Too rich for your blood. Too crazy.
On track, I just like... The Radical just looked like so much work to bring to the track and to use on track. And like you can have a passenger. I feel like your passenger better be small. Because
better be short.
Like no one over 5'10" and 160 pounds is gonna like fit next to you because you're on top of them, and so it's a terrible passenger experience. You probably can't hear them without comms.
I'm sure.
And I think like what I also enjoy about track driving is like sharing it or like being able to like bring a passenger or what have you. And so I think for that,
you're exposing me. I'm a very selfish driver.
I want the Elise.
Really? You want the Elise?
I think I want the Elise. Yeah, I want the Elise. I also just have a love affair with Elises too. In general,
I was gonna say I don't blame you for wanting an Elise. I just think it's a little ironic.
I think it's the wrong Elise. I think in a lot of ways it doesn't make any sense. It's like I don't know. Get an X-Siege. It's an X-Siege is the same price.
Rob, just go for it. No. I not even like Exige, but like if you're gonna have a track, just go for something crazy, dude. Go for something buck wild. You're trailing the car anyway.
If it's a not street legal car, just do that. Sometimes
it shouldn't look like a street car.
I agree. I think with how many, just purpose-built race cars I know that you can buy for a reasonable price now, I would just want like a Formula Mazda or Formula Ford car because, I mean, heck, you build a Miata or race-only Miata and you and Stefan Knapp of Knapp Motorsports, right? You guys have one together and
Cam,
right. So I mean, you guys are. I'm just going to guess, maybe 15 into it, right? Like that's what it costs to build a car with a cage.
I'm willing to bet, we're probably 15 all in, and that's him doing a lot of fab work.
Right, and maybe, it would cost the person who doesn't have those skills 20. And you got to put a cage in it. You got to put the seating, maybe fire suppression. The list goes on and on. And what you have is a car you can't drive on the street anymore, so you need a trailer. Yep. And at that point, well, you could have just bought a Formula Mazda with a 1.3 liter rotary screaming in the back, and you're in an open wheel race car, and it's probably going to go faster than the Miata in every regard.
It's actually pretty cool. What do those go for?
I'm looking at one that sold in November of last year for $17,000.
What?
Let's see. Does it run? No, there seems to be actually quite a few. Like it's not like rare. Looks like it's fully up to date, July 2022 service. Looks like you could buy this thing, buy and drive.
It's a mini F1 car, dude.
Yeah. This is like you're in like Formula 10.
Come on, let's go.
I mean, it's sick. It's real downforce. Got a big old wing on there.
That would be phenomenal. And you know what?
How cool would that be?
You know what, Rob? I bet I could tow that with my Miata, with my Focus.
Oh yeah, that thing probably weighs 1,000 pounds tops.
Not even. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Let's see. I'm sure I can. Let's see. 90s Formula Mazda. Wait, I mean, I've even a friend at work who does a ton of autocross. He has, I believe they're called Formula 500 cars. Let's see, Formula 500 cars. yeah, he has a Formula 500 that he autocrosses, but you can also take those on the track, and those are tiny. Those are one very small step up from a go-kart. So it's basically a go-kart that's a little bit longer with full body work and some real suspension. And it has.
That sounds like a good time.
And I think most of them, they run different engines. A lot of them running 2-stroke snowmobile engines.
Yeah. Now, the only issue with the Formula mods that I see is, no co-driver. You have to be like a certain level. You can't share the experience with anybody. But dude, you're an F1, bro.
You're an F1. And
you're an F1.
The rotaries apparently make 180 horsepower.
Yo.
180 horsepower. And they weigh 1,250 pounds. There you go.
From someone who's killed every rotary they've been presented with on this segment.
This is one you want, right?
Dude, this would have ran away. See, with the segment.
This is the track car right here. This is the track car. You let me know when you want to go in on one.
It is.
This is the car. You get a trailer. You take this thing to the track.
Hell yeah.
You know, that's a ton of fun.
I'm seeing around 1,100 pounds. A little over 1,100 pounds is what they're generally weigh.
Tear that with your Miata.
And then you're like, I'm sure there's a bunch of forums out there and stuff. Then I can test aero. I can develop the car. Dude, I'm in F1.
I'm developing the car. You know, I'm not doing, honey. These aren't modifications. I didn't buy upgrades. I'm developing the car. I'm engineering.
Adrian Newey? Yeah. I'm doing some research.
And then now you can walk around the paddock in your full fire suit, you know?
Clipboard. Or now it would be now the new version is iPad.
I mean, and it seems like a car you can go to the track, you can load it on the trailer by yourself. I mean, you need a winch on your trailer, but you load it on the trailer by yourself, you unload it yourself.
All right. Well, we're off the rails here, and
we're way off the rails.
The Formula Mazda ran away with the show. That wasn't even in the segment. So that leaves you with, what are you going to crush? Did you say that yet?
Oh, I'm crushing the Atom.
You're crushing the Atom.
Because I haven't ridden an Atom, and I rode it in an Exoset. And I mean, whatever. It's totally different, suspension geometry and Atom's mid-engine. But I don't know. I didn't love getting covered in rocks, and it's totally useless as a street car.
Dude, you're gonna have to wear what you would wear pretty much on a motorcycle.
Yeah, I mean, you should.
You
should.
I mean, you don't have to, but you should.
I mean,
right? Not even just a helmet.
At the bare minimum, you need eye protection, even with the windscreen, because a rock could just fly up from a wheel and smack you in the eye.
I could even see not really wanting to wear shorts in that car because it's not. Oh, it's all exposed.
Yeah, I mean, when you stand up, rocks are going to fall out of your shorts.
Yeah. You should have
absolutely.
jeans minimum.
No, it's totally useless on the street. It's totally useless. It's not even I don't know. It's not really fun unless you're just totally fine with being really dirty. You know, more so than a motorcycle, more dirty than you get on a motorcycle.
Yeah. All right. Well, what do you all think? Are you as intrigued as I am now about the Formula Ford?
Yes.
I'm really interested. We're
doing it. We're going
getting
halvesies.
Let's do it. I'm down. I'll live out my F1 fantasies. But yeah, what would you choose? Is Formula One Ford just the
none of them, just that one,
choice?
Right, guys?
Yeah. Let us know down below.
Coming back down off of these purpose-built cars, we're going back to the bastard children. The things that do things that they never should have
been able to do.
Yeah, we're talking performance SUVs, and the news that there is going to be a Corvette SUV as early as 2025, which I don't actually believe. I don't see that happening, at least for maybe 2026 model year and 2025, I guess. But yeah, Corvette SUV. First impressions, it looks like a Urus. It looks like a Lamborghini Urus. Another car that is kind of a bastard. But I think I've heard that they've already sold more Uruses than they sold Gallardos through the whole lifespan of the Gallardo.
What?
Yeah, so
this is the problem. These cars, all right,
it's the
crossovers
goddamn
or whatever.
public.
they're successful. They're too successful.
If you can afford a Urus, go buy yourself a real Lamborghini and then get yourself like an Audi Q5. You know?
For real.
What the hell?
I wonder if I actually don't think this is happening because of the success of the Mustang Mach-E, because it is a very different car. It is more the success
I don't
of like
think
the
it's
Lambo.
Mach-E related. I think it's Cayenne related. I think it's Urus related. I think it's whatever the hell ever you pronounce that Ferrari one related.
Yep. Maybe the naming is or could be blamed on Ford. I just cannot get over the fact that they used the
that
Mustang
it's going to be a
for
vet.
that.
Okay. I'm going to say the naming is directly because of the Mustang Mach-E.
Okay.
Which is a car that should, I don't know if I've complained about this yet on the show, but that is a car that it should absolutely not be called a Mustang at all. It is and you can even, I think there's like an interview with one of the execs or like, one of the designers or something where even they were like, you can hear in their voice that was bullshit, that was like someone wanted to do that who did not understand or give a crap about like the heritage of
they let in
cars.
some zoomer into that meeting. You just wanted to see the place burn.
Who knows?
No,
but I will say the naming, yes, it's that.
Yeah.
And the Corvette brand, it seems to be stronger than ever. It's I think picking up some steam with younger people with the mid-engine C8. I think it's revitalized the brand in terms of not being an old person car anymore. You can get a C8 and not, people. Yeah, it doesn't have the same stigma, I think.
Yeah. With Ford, real fast, they should have named it something cool, like an old car to bring back nameplate wise.
They had so many cool names.
A Galaxy Mach-E.
Oh yeah.
Could you imagine that? That'd be so sick.
That'd be sweet.
And I'm sure I haven't really thought about Chevys, but I'm sure they could do something same to that. But
yeah.
It's basically in the future. I see like Chevy just making Corvettes and like Silverados, and it's just those
like Ford
two cars.
makes F-150s and
It's just
Mustangs.
F-150 and a Mustang. Even though they make like 12 different cars, the names are Mustang and F-150 and Silverado and that's it. Just silly.
So, departing from just the looks and this naming
and the nomenclature.
The nomenclature here is the underpinnings, right? When I first saw this, I was like, are they really going to sell you $100,000 Chevy Equinox? Yeah. And it'll be like the equivalent of what would that be? Like an Expedition ST or something or whatever they are. So no. It looks
the
like
no.
Yeah, it looks like the underpinnings are going to be the Cadillac CT4 or CT5V. Is what the rumor mill is spitting.
Wow.
And I feel like those are great cars. They've been reviewed really well. Great chassis. Yep. I don't know why the hell. Clearly they're not even building an SUV here. They're building a crossover at best.
That's a car chassis.
Yeah, it's a car chassis. You look at the renderings and it's not high off the ground at all. There's no ground clearance. No, it's got nothing to do with utility and
this is very
off-road
much
ability.
Chevy doing the same exact thing what they did with the C8, and they're saying, hey, Ferrari, Lamborghini, you're making these super crossovers. We're gonna make one. It's going to be called the Corvette, and they'll baseline them too, and I'm sure it'll perform just as well, if not better.
Yeah. They want their slice of the pie.
Fraction of the price. Exactly.
They want their slice of the pie because twice as many people can buy this. And honestly, if you're a family and you have to have your family car, like this is a car you could get, as your daily driver and put the kids in the back and take them to soccer practice. Like this will, it'll do that. Looks like
the math checks out.
Yeah.
4 people can fit into that car, whereas only 2 can fit into the Corvette C8. Yeah, math checks out.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to tell you to buy a C8 and then just get a Camry. But
Absolutely.
We'll see where it goes.
Even just get something just something else. But it's interesting. I'll say this.
Are you? All right, go ahead.
Okay. I'll say this. The results from that road and track battle about the Kona N just smashing.
I don't think we're gonna
WRX.
go an episode without you saying Kona N. Every time I was like, how is it gonna get into this episode? And yet
Without
everything
fail.
comes back to Kona N.
Well, I just gotta go buy one. I just just seeing that stat was like earth shattering to like my brain. Like it totally it took the world that I knew, Rob, the world that I was comfortable with, the world that made sense, and it turned it on its head. You have this crossover that's that much, like just embarrassing the WRX by that much. How is this a thing? I wonder what the stats are going to be. I wonder if it's going to be a fun car to drive. It's just, I don't know. I guess I'm getting a little outside of my prejudice of this type of car. This crossover thing.
All right. I mean, I've driven a few of the fast SUVs. I've driven like new Cayenne turbos, and I've driven a Urus. They are fast. They're insanely capable. You look down at the speedo and you're like, how the hell am I going this fast? It like doesn't even compute because you're moving so much mass so quickly. Yeah. And still somehow able to turn as well and brake. I mean, the Urus's brakes, I think they are the biggest brakes on any production car ever. I mean, I'm just throwing shit out there now, but they're like 17-inch rotors or 16-inch rotors. Like they are huge.
Larger than my Miata wheels.
Yeah. I mean, I am sure this new Corvette SUV is going to be fast. I mean, they took in the 2022 Car and Driver Lightning Lap, they had the Cayenne Turbo GT Coupe, which is just a Cayenne with like the back slashed so it looks cooler and has less cargo space. And that did it in a 252.6, which is faster than a lot of things. Like that is really fast.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting. Any final thoughts? I'm trying to be more curious than I'm trying to be more glass half full or just glass half as opposed to glass half empty. I'm trying to be as neutral on this as possible.
Corvette brand is here to stay.
Yeah.
I get that out of it. Corvette brand is here to stay. That is for sure.
I wonder if they'll ever do what other brands have done with things like Dodge Ram, where Ram's technically its own brand. It's not really a Dodge. It's a Ram. They've separated from the rest of Dodge. I'm wondering if that's ever going to be in the cards for GM and Corvette, where it just becomes its own separate brand.
People have been talking about that for ages.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't think I care one way or another. I will say I drove past a Chrysler dealership the other day, and it's kind of embarrassing. Like whoever is in charge of branding there, I mean, they must be like at each other's throats because you drive by and it looks like the most ramshackle place because you've got four totally different. You got Chrysler. What is it? Chrysler, Jeep, Ram, and what's the fourth one? Isn't there a fourth? Isn't there like
Dodge?
Dodge, right? And
technically,
Dodge.
yeah.
You have all four of those labels all fighting for space on the front of this.
On the side,
you can't have any consistent design language in your dealership because you have to represent four totally different brands.
Yep.
And their only common denominator is ill-informed consumers. So I don't know how you go off of that. It's honestly, yeah. I don't know if they need to break off. I don't know if I need Corvette only dealerships.
Yeah.
It
just seems silly.
Just to throw back here, that Cayenne went around the track faster than an M3 competition.
Oh, okay.
Faster than a 22 M3 competition.
Oh my God. That's
really fast. A whole second faster. Yeah.
BMW failed. Competition my ass.
Yeah.
You just got smoked by an
Competition
SUV,
my
dude.
ass.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Pretty nuts. It's pretty nuts.
I'm gonna be up late at night thinking about
And
this.
you know what's
I'm not gonna
faster?
sleep.
Yeah, the CT5V Blackwing. So, I mean, you know, I'm sure they'll be making something that is like almost as fast, you know, or is as fast as like the Cayenne Turbo. I'm sure their eyes are dead set on a
Rob,
Cayenne
I
Turbo.
don't-
That's their direct competition.
I don't want to live in this world anymore. I don't.
Where we just make things that shouldn't go fast go really, really fast.
Go faster than everything else. Just go faster than everything else.
There's absolutely nothing stopping you but the consumer for making something that should go fast, like a little car.
Why isn't the M3 competition going faster then? I don't. Who? You know what? It's big SUV, Rob.
Okay, I think
there's a conspiracy here. They have to make it fast. Like, how is this?
Blame Porsche for doing everything so damn well.
How is this possible?
That's
Come on, physics say this shouldn't be a thing, Rob. I thought math was real.
it feels wrong. It feels wrong.
All right, on this bombshell, let us know down below what your thoughts are on a Corvette SUV, and if these things are as wrong as I do feel like they are. I'm ending glass half empty.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm trying to be neutral.
I want everyone to answer me this. That's what I want. That Cayenne is $180,000. Do you get that Cayenne, or do you go buy yourself a whole GT4 and a Macan? You could probably even swing the Macan S.
Yeah.
For the same money. You could have a wonderful daily driver and a excellent, possibly the best sports car, or you could just have an insanely fast SUV.
Again, the math checks out, Rob. 2 is better than 1.
And they're both better at their respective things. They're both better at their respective things. Every time you need new tires for that Cayenne Turbo, for $3,000. Brakes don't even. I mean, you don't even want to think about it.
If it's carbon, if the carbons,
I mean, if they're carbons, theoretically, you'll never replace them unless you're. Well, that'll be like. Okay, buy one of those in like 20 years when they're like $10,000 and they need a $50,000 brake job. Even I bet steel rotors on that are $5,000 brake job.
Yeah, because they say Porsche on them.
Oh Lord!
All right, well we'll wrap it there. Let us know down below. Is 2 better than 1? I think 2 is better than 1.
2 is better than 1. Bye, guys.
All right. See you guys. Thanks for listening.